Carlin headlines the marquee from Bally's in Las Vegas, but sharing the top billing tonight is undefeated IBC heavyweight champion Michael Grant. Tonight he squares off against Jorge Luis Gonzalez. The crystal lights of the ballroom here at Bally's in Las Vegas. It's 2 hours of live boxing action for you tonight. ESPN's Championship Boxing. Hello again, everyone. Glad you can join us. I'm Bob Papa. Very interesting weekend here in Las Vegas. Of course, Evander Holyfield and Michael Moore square off for the heavyweight championship tomorrow night. We'll have more on that. We'll also hear from the former heavyweight champion of the world and what his future holds. Special conversation with Riddick Big Daddy Bowe. Plus, tonight we have the IBC heavyweight championship for you. Undefeated Michael Grant defends his title against Jorge Luis Gonzalez. Grant 25-0 with 17 knockouts. Gonzalez 25 wins in 28 bouts with 23 KOs. And joining me as always, my partner here on ESPN, the one and only Al Bernstein. And Al, Michael Grant is 25 years of age. He's a very personable young man. When you talk with him, it's like sitting around at your kitchen table, friendly conversation. He's only been boxing as a pro for a short time. He is still a work in progress.
He really is, Bob, but he has shown so much promise that many people in the boxing community think he is going to be a heavyweight to watch in the next year or so. We saw him about a year or so ago on the Deuce against Jeff Wood, and he won that fight. Not that impressive a performance, but in the last year, he has really picked up the pace. Very good performance against Lionel Butler, and even better here on ESPN Championship Boxing against Al Cole, a former cruiserweight champion. He is a great basketball and baseball player, and in boxing, he shows signs of potentially being great in the future.
His opponent tonight also stands 6'7". Jorge Luis Gonzalez, defected from Cuba, now fighting in the United States. He's 33 years of age. While Grant is a work in progress, is the progress finished for Gonzalez?
It might be. You know, he raced through his first 23 pro fights, winning all of them, then ran into Riddick Bowe, got knocked out, and he's lost 3 of his last 5 fights and hasn't looked that good. And what's even more significant, he comes into this spot with the second longest layoff of his pro career, 191 days. He will have to perform good tonight. Otherwise, he'll become a journeyman.
I'll tell you what's significant. Normally we show you, as we showed you Michael Grant in his dressing room. Gonzalez has yet to make his way down from his room to his locker room. That's why we didn't have the shot for you. We have some very talented young men to start off our program tonight in the welterweight division. Vernon Forrest, the 1992 Olympian. He's 22-0 with 18 knockouts out of Augusta, Georgia, squaring off against Ray Oliveira. Let's send it up to our ring announcer for tonight, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to Bally's Las Vegas as we have a big night of action coming away, and it's all brought to you by Main Events in association with Bally's Las Vegas and Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. At this time, we present one of our featured attractions scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. It is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, supervisor at ringside Craig Hubble, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Introducing to you our judges scoring this bout from ringside, Carol Castellano, Dave Moretti, and Al Siciliano. Presenting to you our referee in charge of this bout. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Kenny Bayless. All right, fans, here we go with the vacant WBC Continental America's welterweight championship scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Presenting to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing blue trunks with white trim and hailing from New Bedford, Massachusetts. He weighed in at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds even. His record stands at 30 wins, 6 losses, 13 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Ray Sucra Oliveira. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing light blue trunks with black trim, hailing from and representing Atlanta, Georgia. He weighed in at a trim and ready 145 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with 22 wins, no losses, 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the undefeated Vernon Forrest. And once again, Kenny Bayless, our referee in charge.
Fellas, win or lose in the dressing room. I want to caution, obey my commands at all times. keep the fight clean.
Let's take a look at the rules for tonight's WBC Continental Americas Championship bout under the unified professional rules. No 3 knockdown, no standing 8. Cannot be saved by the bell. Only the referee may stop the bout. Accidental foul, they'll go to the scorecards after 4 rounds. 29-year-old Ray Oliveira from New Bedford, Massachusetts, on August the 5th of this year, lost a 12-round decision to Reggie Green for Oliveira's NABF Junior Welterweight Championship. And round number 1 is underway. Oliveira in the dark blue, and Vernon Forrest, although hailing from Georgia, fighting out of Atlanta, born in Augusta, loves the University of North Carolina. He has the Carolina Sky Blue on. There you look at the knockout ratio. Oliveira has never been knocked out. And Forrest, of course, undefeated. And you see his ratio at 82%. Vernon Forrest has 11 first-round knockouts in his 22 professional bouts. That's 50% of his bouts ending with first-round knockout wins.
Oliveira comes in here off that loss to Reggie Green. You mentioned it was a very close fight, disputed as far as he was concerned. And ironically, it followed a very important win for him over Charles Murray, the former junior welterweight champion. So people thought Oliveira was racing off to yet another title shot, and instead he was derailed by Reggie Green, but a good opportunity for him tonight.
Yeah, Oliveira told us yesterday at the weigh-in that he was not mentally healthy for that fight against Green. A lot of things were happening in his personal life. He says for tonight's fight, he is of sound mind and body, and he expects a very good performance. When you look at experience between these two, obviously Oliveira with 14 more bouts professionally. He says, no, that did not hurt. Forrest has 73 rounds as a professional under his belt. Oliveira 254.
Vernon Forrest, expect him to come out quick, which he is. He's having an excellent first round. He would like to get this fight over quicker. His fight averaged 3.3 rounds, whereas Oliveira much more used to going a longer distance. His fights average 7.1 rounds. Ray has a lot more experience going into the later portions of fights.
Thunderous shots from Forrest. He says, though, he'll remain patient. Says he saw Oliveira fight Murray and Jake Rodriguez. Oliveira losing to Jake Rodriguez in 1994 for the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship in a 12-round bout. And he knows that Oliveira is very tough.
Another title shot against Zach Padilla for the WBO Junior Welterweight title. And as we go on, we'll tell you more about that fight. It was one of the most extraordinary we have ever had here on ESPN.
Yeah, you know, we give you those punch numbers kept by CompuBox. Well, in that bout, records were set, and we will tell you more about that a bit later on.
Don't hold him down. Don't hold him down.
Nice round 1 for Vernon Forrest, and he has kept his composure. Oh, big right uppercut. Maybe that hurt Oliveira.
It did. Let's see if Forrest can finish him off. Remember, cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and Oliveira desperately trying to get that bell. There it is, round number 1 to an end. Vernon Forrest back to his corner. Lee Duva there, along with Ronnie Shields and Ray Oliveira. A rough ending of round 1.
Deep breath. That was his stomach, right? Okay, then that's what I want to hear. Now listen, baby. If you come out now because you think he's got your hurt, just where you got to be on your toes. Are you listening to me? Yep. I want you to fire back. I want you to start countering back, baby. You're letting him get off and you're doing nothing. Yep. Are you listening to what I'm saying? All right, now. Let's answer. Each time he hits you, let's answer with 2 or 3 punches. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Yep. And he doesn't like it to the body. He don't like it to the body. Let's not.
All right, here's where Vernon Forrest, with this right uppercut, got Ray Oliveira in trouble. They said he thinks he has you hurt. Hey, maybe he did. And then Forrest followed up on that with these power shots. And did have Oliveira reeling. There's the uppercut again, which sends the veteran back. That's why Vernon Forrest has 11 first-round knockouts. Over 50% of his fights have ended at that point.
Round number 2 underway in the scheduled 12-round bout for the WBC Continental Americas Welterweight Championship. Ray Oliveira and Vernon Forrest. Take a look at the numbers in round 1.
And among those punches, what is intriguing is the fact that Oliveira only landed 3 of 22 jabs. The jab is a very important weapon for Oliveira, and you can see he's not using it well, and it's not keeping the power punching Vernon Forrest off him.
You know, it's funny. Oliveira's corner told him in between rounds 1 and 2, in case you did not hear it clearly, go to Forrest's body. He does not like that. And ironically, it's Forrest who comes out to start round 1 with body work.
Ray Oliveira has been a slow starter before, and you should not be lulled into a feeling that he's out of a fight, because we've seen him come back many, many times. We alluded to the fight with Zach Padilla, in which they set the record, the 13.5-year record for total punches thrown in CompuBox history.
3,020 punches were thrown. Padilla threw 1,596. Oliveira 1,427. In the 7th round of that bout, Oliveira threw 185 punches. In the 12th round, Padilla threw 207 punches.
So you know Ray Oliveira is a busy fighter. That number of punches in round 7 is more than some heavyweights have thrown in a whole fight, I think.
And Oliveira has never been knocked out. Vernon Forrest, a member of the 1992 United States Olympic boxing team, did not win a medal, had food poisoning in Barcelona. Vander Holyfield was there to root him on. Forrest works out of Holyfield's gym in the Atlanta area. They are very close. Vander counsels him.
Oliveira now starting to use that jab in earnest and giving just a little bit more movement to Vernon Forrest, and just that amount of movement has made it a little easy, not so easy for Vernon Forrest to land his shots.
Spacious ring tonight here at Bally's in Las Vegas. It is 21 feet by 21 feet inside the ropes. A very firm ring mat.
I think there's no question that Ray Oliveira feels if he can just get through these first 3, 4, 5 rounds, that he'll find out what young Vernon Forrest is about as we head into rounds 5, 6, and the rest of it.
Final 10 seconds of round 2. Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira. Hope you're enjoying it tonight on ESPN's Championship Boxing.
It's good to be a winner.
22 years in the making.
Too fast.
Now the best picture of the year. The Academy Award winning When We Were Kids.
I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
Is stunning, electrifying, a remarkable film.
Sucker, you ain't nothing.
Ali is magnificent as an ex-champion.
We gonna get it on because we don't get along.
Fighting for one last shot at greatness.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
A winner if there ever was one. Don't miss it. When We Were Kids. Now available on home video.
To go farther. Go farther.
The completely reinvented 205 horsepower Isuzu Rodeo.
The dream is always the same. I'm in the mall. I'm looking for my girlfriend. So I head for Thrifty's. Maybe she's there.
Go ahead, try them on.
Hey, it's a dream, so I go with it.
Over here.
She says,
No, over here. Are you gonna try those on?
like I said, it's a dream, so I go with it. Whoa.
So that we may show you the main event in its entirety, we now rejoin the welterweight bout between Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira in round 7.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. A stern warning for Vernon Forrest at the end of round number 6 for low blows. He's been warned twice now, and Kenny Bayless says the next time he will take a penalty away from Forrest. It's Forrest and Ray Oliveira.
And Vernon Forrest now in the 7th round, he has only 1 KO past the 6 rounds. So Vernon Forrest looking now more into a decision situation. Nice round for Vernon Forrest, landing 44% of his punches, 20 of 41 jabs in that round. Oliveira only landing 3 jabs.
Yeah, you talk about late power. Oliveira, who is not a big power guy to start with 13 knockouts in 36 pro bouts, does have 2 knockouts after the 6th round. He has a 7th round knockout and a 10th round knockout. Forrest has an 8th round knockout against Isaac Cruz.
If the judges have it the way I do it, with Vernon Forrest building up a pretty good margin, it's going to be rough for Ray Oliveira to get back into this with that lack of power. When Forrest came out of the 92 Olympics, though he did not win a medal, he performed pretty well. And many people felt, including you, Bob, that he would be a very good pro. And while a little of it's been slow in developing, he has stayed undefeated.
Yeah, I was high on Ray Oliveira. Vernon Forrest at the Olympics in 92. Raul Marquez, who does have a title. Of course, Oscar De La Hoya has become the cream of that crop. You got Timmy Austin, Eric Griffin, guys from that 92 team. That 92 team has done very well for themselves in the pro game.
Extremely well. And we thought, you and I both felt they had great talent and that maybe should have won more medals, but some problems outside of the ring had more bearing, maybe not as organized as things might have been. You heard a smattering of applause and a reaction of Evander Holyfield has entered the building, and we're going to have a chance to chat with him on this show. He, of course, in that big pay-per-view match with Michael Moore tomorrow here in Las Vegas.
And Evander, a big fan of Vernon Forrest. In fact, when Forrest lost in the Olympics, I was sitting with Evander Holyfield during that fight. He was tremendously disappointed.
You know, the interesting thing, I think, is that Vernon Forrest, when he has shown the movement against Oliveira, has been even better. And we see a little bit more of that now. Also, the jab of Forrest becoming a really big weapon. This will be a very big learning experience for Forrest, because he is now heading into the later rounds with a tough veteran.
Final seconds of round number 7, scheduled for 12. Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira.
Who are you really looking for?
Universal Pictures will send you where the jackal can't find you. You and your guests could win a week to the Radisson Cable Beach Resort in the Bahamas, courtesy of Signature Vacations in Canada 3000. Or win one of 15 Jackal t-shirts and soundtracks from MCA Records. To enter for your chance to win, send your name, address, and phone number to the address on screen. The Jackal, starring Bruce Willis, Richard Gere, and Sidney Poitier, now playing at theaters everywhere.
For that Florida State-North Carolina game, the Tar Heels desperate to win in their conference against Florida State.
I'm going to sit in front of the tube all day tomorrow and watch ESPN. We'll take a look at the numbers through round 7.
Vernon Forrest edging ahead. I have him ahead convincingly in this fight, but because Ray Oliveira has been, pecking away on the inside there, that he has landed those, but I believe that Forrest has landed the better punches and has been more consistent. It is interesting that Oliveira has closed the distance a little bit in terms of numbers of punches thrown. Forrest working on the inside. Nice little combination. Oliveira's jab has been a non-factor for a lot of this bout, and I think that's a big reason why he's not doing better here.
Just over a minute gone by in round number 8. There is the WBA heavyweight champion of the world, recognized by many as the best in the world, Evander Holyfield. Vernon Forrest and Holyfield have a very close relationship. I asked Forrest about Evander's influence.
These fights, being around him, just an inspiration, just seeing him succeed even when my career wasn't going well, knowing him personally, knowing how well he was doing at the time, it kept me upbeat. He also took me into camp with him. Also took me on vacations and stuff like that with him. So he kept me focused when my situation wasn't so bright. And so yes, I draw a lot of inspiration from him.
Holyfield spreads inspiration to a lot of people around the nation.
He is a happy man, and all week covering him from SportsCenter and ESPN. We have found him to be, as always, a delight, and he enjoys what he's up to.
Fantastic cover story on ESPN SportsCenter yesterday with Mark Schwartz going down to Evander's home in the Atlanta area.
Yeah, very intriguing. That home is pretty nice, isn't it? Well, about
4,000 square feet.
Bowling alley, some other stuff. I don't have a bowling alley in the house, but I'm thinking about it.
Tell you what, right now, Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira in a very tight bout, interesting bout. Chopping right and a counter left from Oliveira. Really haven't seen Forrest go to the body much since those stiff warnings. Final seconds of round number 8, scheduled for 12. Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira.
Accelerate your breath. Accelerate your life. Accelerate your chances of winning. Each week, tune into TSN's Extreme programs and watch for the Excel Extreme Close-Up. Then be one of the first 350 to call with the correct answer to the weekly Excel Extreme Close-Up trivia question for a chance to win. You and a friend could bag the big one, a trip to the 98 Winter X Games this January in Colorado. Accelerate your chances of winning each week by tuning into TSN's Extreme programs. Brought to you by Excel, a great way to accelerate your brain.
Big crowd on hand here at Bally's in Las Vegas. Tonight we have Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira competing for the WBC Continental America's Welterweight Championship. In our main event, Michael Grant defends his IBC heavyweight title against Jorge Luis Gonzalez, plus a conversation with Evander Holyfield. We look at the jabs through, I believe that should be through 8 rounds.
Yeah, that was
5.
through the 5th, but we just want to remind you what was going on around the 5th round. We'll have the jabs through 8 for you in just a little bit. A reminder that in the last round, Oliveira was only 4 of 20 in jabs, and Forrest was 20 of 48 in round 8. So that'll give you an idea of how it is generally going with the jabs.
Forrest putting his punches together. Oliveira blocking most of them, but not able to counter. Forrest has done a conscious job, I guess, of staying away from any body punches.
You take a look at what happens when fights go a long distance. Oliveira's been in more, so that 8-5 record in a way deceiving, but still it shows you that he'll win, but not always. And Vernon Forrest has had little experience going along, but when he has, things have worked out for him.
Yeah, 2 late decisions, a 10-round decision and a 12-round decision for Forrest.
Good welterweights during Anwar Ashana, very good prospect in the Midwest from Chicago. I'm going to be with him on November 26th at the boxing matches Bobby Hitz is putting on in Chicago. And the night before at a dinner, I'm going to be with Jake LaMotta, one of the great middleweight champions of all time. So looking forward to seeing all the fans in Chicago.
Jake, of course, still tremendously popular.
Very much so, and a character. He'll do his stand-up nightclub act for you on the drop of a suggestion. Good work to the body by Ray Oliveira, and really there just hasn't been enough of that from him. And this fight has kind of cooled down and become a more tactical affair.
Final 15 seconds of round 9. Oliveira throwing more punches, not necessarily landing with a lot of them, but Forrest slowing down a bit as round 9 comes to an end.
The dream is always the same. I'm in the mall. I'm looking for my girlfriend. So I head for Thrifty's. Maybe she's there.
Go ahead, try them on.
Hey, it's a dream, so I go with it.
Over here.
She says.
No, over here. Are you going to try those on?
Like I said, it's a dream, so I go with it. Whoa.
There is Ray Oliveria, the 29-year-old from Newport, Massachusetts, former NABF junior welterweight champion, trying to win the vacant WBC Continental Americas welterweight championship. That man in the Carolina blue from Augusta, Georgia, Vernon Forrest, has other ideas. The 1992 United States Olympian comes in 22-0 with 18 knockouts.
A lot of swelling you notice around the eyes of Ray Oliveria. There's what could be the most salient story in this bout, the fact that Forrest has dominated in the jab department, something I know Ray Oliveria didn't think was going to happen to him. Hey, we know where Vernon Forrest is going to be this weekend. He'll be watching the North Carolina-Florida State game.
Yeah. Well, I know he's a big Carolina basketball fan. I'm not sure how big a Carolina football fan he is.
Oh, they have a good basketball team, too, huh?
I love that ESPN college basketball commercial with Dean Smith.
That is cute.
Especially when he's waving the foam finger.
Forrest trying to put his punches together there, hoping that if he can land a real good combination, he'll get Oliveira hurt to the point where he can put him away.
Oliveira taking a page out of the Monica Seles book of grunting after every thrown punch. Of course, the great tennis player, that grunt after all those winning backhands and forehands.
Forrest now trying to kind of control this fight. And Oliveira in a position where he's got to go. Oh, nice combinations by Forrest. And the jab of Forrest just continues to get the job done. You know, if he's to step up as a welterweight in what is a very crowded division with a lot of talented people, that jab's could be his ticket to get there. And at 26, Vernon Forrest leaves winning this title with the stepping stone toward a world title shot.
Yeah, he says he can't handpick his opponent. He'll take whoever gives him the opportunity. Forrest turns 27 in February. Ray Oliveira says he's not in any rush to get a world title shot. He'll take it as it comes. I asked him which one he would go after. He says, I hate everybody in the division.
That's a fair statement, so he doesn't care who he fights.
Now Forrest claiming that a headbutt from Oliveira.
And Oliveira rightly going after him because the referee had not stopped the action.
Oliveira over the last round and a half has been the aggressor. I'm not sure how many of these punches are landing.
And mostly when he's coming, he's walked into the jab of Forrest.
Final seconds of round 10. 2 more rounds to go. Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira. Hope you're enjoying tonight's action. Brought to you on ESPN's Championship Boxing.
Hi, everyone. You are watching TSN tonight. Let's quickly bring you up to date on what's going on in the NHL. Several Canadian teams that are in action. No score between Calgary and Florida so far. Let's head out to the Ottawa as the Senators host Pittsburgh. Frederick Olsson's shot from the point, tipped in by Thomas Granman. You can make it 1-0 for Pittsburgh. Ottawa's on a 6-game losing streak, hoping to snap that tonight. Elsewhere, the Sabres are hoping to snap a 5-game losing streak. Double donuts between Buffalo and Boston. Sharks playing the first game of a 5-game road trip, taking on Philadelphia. And the Isles of New Jersey, no score between them as well. We are now going to take you back to boxing. I'll see you in a half an hour.
The Fall Wood Pro Sale from Stihl. Save right now on selected Stihl chainsaws starting at just $299.95 and get a Wood Pro kit valued at over $75 absolutely free. Stihl, built to last, priced to sell.
Jorge Luis Gonzalez, 33 years of age. He fights in tonight's main event as he takes on Michael Grant for Michael Grant's IBC Heavyweight Championship. Good to see Jorge made it here.
Nice of him to come by. Had some previous engagements, but thought he would stop in.
Round 11 underway between Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira. No knockdowns in this bout. Oliveira was stunned by an uppercut at the end of round 1. been knocked out. Seems fine. If this bout was close on the judges' scorecards, despite what our numbers might show, that could be a big swing.
Vernon Forrest has only had one knockout after round 6.
Well, Oliveria is a little bit wobbly. He sticks out his tongue, but he's lost his balance. Good shot to the body, too, from Forrest. Forrest, very patient. We look at Al's scorecard.
Well, I have Forrest completely dominating this bout. And, of course, this would be a 2-point round, which would, I think, make it even more emphatic for him. He knocked out Pedro Saiz in 8 rounds. That's the longest into a fight that Forrest has ever scored a knockout, so he'd like to get one here in round 11, but Oliveira's the one attacking now.
I have my scorecard at 97-93 Forrest.
And that could easily be, because there were some rounds that were close. I ended up giving them to Forrest, but you can make a case for them going to Oliveira. Ray Oliveira, a veteran in need of a win here, because he lost that fight to Reggie Green. That was a little bit of a surprise. He had just beaten Charles Murray, hungering for his 3rd chance at a world title, and if he loses this one, it's going to be tough for him to get there.
The first knockdown of the bout comes here in round 11. Good combination from Vernon Forrest sends Ray Oliveira down. Final half minute of this 11th round. And it looks like for the 2nd time in Forrest's career and 5th time in Oliveira's career, they will fight a 12th round. Round number 11 coming to its conclusion. 12th and final round still to come after this time out on ESPN's Championship Boxing.
Too young or too old to enjoy the fresh squeezed taste of McCain Premium Frozen Concentrated Orange Juice. McCain uses the concentrated juice of 14 premium oranges in every can. 100% pure juice. It also comes in 3 more refreshing and nutritious orange varieties for your family to enjoy. Here's to happiness, life, family, and the fresh squeezed taste of 14 premium oranges. From McCain.
Not easy to get Ray Oliveira down on the canvas, but Forrest did it with a 3-punch combination, with the final exclamation point being that short left hook.
12th and final round underway, and don't be surprised if Vernon Forrest does not throw a right hand in this round. Report from his corner says that Forrest told his cornerman that his right hand is killing him. So let's see if he just uses this spacious 21 by 21 foot ring and jabs away.
Well, Forrest used it plenty early, and that could be how it got hurt, bouncing off the top of the head of Ray Oliveira. And so far, true to his word, he's not used the right hand. Let's see if Oliveira is hit to the fact that Forrest may have a problem with the right.
He's not throwing it at all.
No, guess what? He's winning this round just with movement in the left hand. Not the first time it would have happened with Dana Rosenblatt in a fight years ago, going to 2-1. Broke his hand early and won the entire fight just using his right hand, jab.
Forrest really exaggerating it with his body language in the 12th round.
Well, it looks for all the world like Vernon Forrest is going to end up with a decision win that will put him a notch closer to a world title shot, because a lot will depend on how that hand is. If it's hurt, though, you would think he's got a few. Oh, look at there. He was just ready to throw the right and just didn't.
So he throws a triple left hook.
How about the fact that since his hand got hurt, he is fighting more the fight they wanted him to fight? A little more movement and throwing his punches and giving angles.
Did throw a right uppercut there. Fortunately for his hand, he missed. There's 1 minute to go. This is a big test for Forrest. There he throws a right and he winces. This is a big, not big, but it's a step up.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is the best guy he's fought. This is a guy who has fought twice for world titles, who has beaten Charles Murray. I got a great match. Let's play matchmaker. How about Alfonso Sanchez, who we saw knock out Charles Murray, against Vernon Forrest? Would that be a great fight?
Well, the boxing coordinator, Bobby Allen, is here. Why don't we tell him?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think that's a good one. I'd love to see that. I know there are two different promoters involved, as there always are, it seems, but what a great matchup that would be, an action bout.
Another left from Forrest.
Because usually I leave the matchmaking to the professionals like Carl Moretti, people like Ron Katz and Bruce Champion, Top Rank, and all the rest, but I like to get my say in once in a while.
Well, a good test for Vernon Forrest. It appears that he's passed it. They both raised their arms in victory. We'll wait the final bell, and Forrest wins this round, dancing and using his left hand. Bell is sounded. Vernon Forrest and Ray Oliveira are done. We'll find out who the judges thought will be the winner after this timeout on ESPN's Championship Boxing. Great day of college football on ESPN. We're set for the decision. We send it up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, the judges are in agreement as we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Al Siciliano scores at 118 to 109. Caro Castellano and Dave Moretti both scored about the same at 119 to 108. All three in favor of the winner of the WBC Continental America's Welterweight Championship and still undefeated, Vernon Forrest.
Vernon Forrest goes to 23-0. Ray Oliveira falls to 30-7. A very good win for Vernon Forrest.
It was indeed, and I think the way he accomplished it made it even better. He listened to his corner, he put punches together, and despite a hurt right hand, was able to get the job done, ended up with a punch edge. And you know, very seldom that you throw more punches than Ray Oliveira. Forrest did that.
Sure did, 49 more. He knocked Oliveira down in round number 11. Vernon Forrest is the winner tonight. Still to come, our main event and a live conversation with the real deal, Evander Holyfield. And we'll also check in with Riddick Bowe as we continue with ESPN's Championship Boxing.
Ocasio. Well, if your memory serves you well, you'll know that it was a 15-round brawl, one of the best fights in cruiserweight history. Dwight Muhammad Qawi lost his title to Holyfield.
Well, we're expecting a good IBC Heavyweight Championship bout tonight as we welcome you back to Bally's in Las Vegas.